Once upon a time, in a small village in ancient China, there was a farmer named Li. One day, while he was plowing his field, he saw something unusual. As Li worked, a rabbit dashed out of the nearby forest, running for its life from a hungry fox. The rabbit, in its panic, didn't see the large tree stump in the middle of the field. With a loud thud, the rabbit crashed into the stump, broke its neck, and died instantly. Li was amazed by his luck. He picked up the rabbit and took it home. That evening, as he and his family enjoyed a delicious feast, Li couldn't stop thinking about how easy it had been to get the rabbit. "Father, where did you get the rabbit?" Li's son asked. Li smiled. "It just ran into a tree stump in the field. Can you believe it?" His wife, Mai, shook her head. "That was lucky, but we can't count on that happening again." But Li couldn't stop thinking about it. The next morning, instead of going to work, he went to the tree stump and sat down. The villagers passing by were curious. "Li, what are you doing?" asked his neighbor, Chen. "I'm waiting for a rabbit," Li replied confidently. Chen laughed. "You can't expect a rabbit to run into the stump every day. You should get back to work." Li ignored him and continued to wait. Days turned into weeks, and Li still sat by the stump. His fields grew over with weeds, and his crops began to die. The villagers started to mock him. One day, a young boy named Ming approached Li. "Mr. Li, why do you wait here every day?" Ming asked innocently. Li smiled at Ming. "I'm waiting for another rabbit to run into the stump, just like before." Ming looked puzzled. "But Mr. Li, wasn't that just an accident?" Li shook his head stubbornly. "It will happen again, you'll see." But the days continued to pass, and no rabbit came. Li became thinner and more desperate, but he refused to give up. One afternoon, an old wise man named Master Zhao, who was known for his wisdom and knowledge, visited the village. Hearing about Li's unusual behavior, he decided to speak with him. "Li," he said gently, "I hear you have been waiting here for many days. Why do you not work in your fields?" Li looked up and saw the kind eyes of Master Zhao. "I am waiting for another rabbit to come," he said. "If I catch another, I won't have to work so hard." Master Zhao sighed and sat down beside Li. "Let me tell you a story," he began. "There was once a fisherman who caught a golden fish. It granted him one wish, so he wished for wealth. The fisherman became rich. But he spent all his time by the river, hoping to catch another golden fish. He neglected his family and lost his friends. In the end, he realized that his true wealth was his family and friends, not the fish." Li listened intently. "But I caught a rabbit," he said. "It wasn't a golden fish, but it was real." Master Zhao nodded. "Yes, you caught a rabbit by chance. But relying on chance is like waiting for lightning to strike the same place twice. True success comes from hard work and dedication, not from waiting for luck." Li thought about Master Zhao's words. He looked at his overgrown fields and remembered the prosperous days when he worked hard. The next day, Li returned to his fields. He pulled out the weeds and began to plant new crops. The villagers noticed his change and began to help him. Soon, the fields were thriving again, and Li realized how much he had missed working the land. Months later, as Li was harvesting his crops, Ming ran up to him and shouted excitedly, "Mr. Li, Mr. Li, look what I found by the tree stump." Li turned and saw Ming holding a small rabbit. He laughed and shook his head. "You see, Ming, sometimes luck does come, but we should never depend on it. Hard work is what truly sustains us." Ming smiled and handed the rabbit to Li. "You were right, Mr. Li. Hard work is important, but it's nice to have a bit of luck now and then." Li patted Ming on the head. "Indeed, it is, but let's make sure we never forget the value of our efforts." From that day on, Li continued to work diligently in his fields, and he taught Ming the importance of hard work and perseverance. The villagers also learned from Li's experience and appreciated the wisdom of Master Zhao. And so, the story of Li and the rabbit became a lesson for all. While luck can sometimes play a part in our lives, it is our hard work and dedication that truly lead us to success and fulfillment. Take a break. Let's go on the following questions. Q1. Why did Li initially sit by the tree stump every day? Because he hoped that another rabbit would run into the stump and die, just like the first rabbit. Q2. What advice did Master Zhao give to Li? Master Zhao advised Li that true success comes from hard work and dedication, not from waiting for luck. Q3. How did the villagers react to Li's behavior of sitting by the tree stump? The villagers mocked Li and thought his behavior was foolish. Q4. What lesson did Li learn by the end of the story? Li learned that while luck can sometimes happen, it is hard work and dedication that lead to true success and fulfillment. Q5. Who helped Li realize the importance of hard work? Master Zhao helped Li realize the importance of hard work.